This is TB Talks and BS Walks. Join the conversation or the BS. Here are the masterminds behind the microphone, Tyler and Brian.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to TB Talks and BS Walks. Got a late night show for you at the time we're recording. It is about 11 p.m. here in the state of Missouri. We have flooding everywhere. Governor just announced state of emergency for southern Missouri. We have several roads that are closed due to rising water. So things are kind of crazy here. Brian, how are things up there? You guys getting any floods?
No, just cold weather.
Yeah.
Big drops in temperature and then back up to the 60s in the afternoon or so.
That's where we're at. It's been 40s the last couple of days, and then it's supposed to be 55, 60 the rest of the week. So I think spring is on the verge. I certainly hope so. I'm totally over the cold weather.
Yeah.
Hope that coming into this show, I hope that those of you that listen to our show regularly took the time to listen to our interview with Johnny from Custom Controllers.
Hey you! Yeah, you. Are you a gamer? How would you like to turn your ordinary controller and give it that custom touch? Only CustomControllers.com can get your regular PlayStation, Xbox, or Wii controller customized the way you want it. Customize every detail of the controller and make it your own. They have skins for the controllers and consoles. As well, you can get them hand painted. We offer customized shoes as well. From Jordans, Vans, Nikes, Supras, and many more. For more information, log on to their site, www.customcontrollers.com, or call 865-315-8786.
I just want to reiterate the fact that how much fun we had talking to him. He seemed like such a great dude, very personable. Doesn't seem like he doesn't run a tight ship. His business is pretty loose, and I like the flow of how they do things. And man, they keep dishing out quality content. I saw some Twitter pictures where he did 3 controllers for T-Pain, and he did 2 steampunk themed Xbox One controllers, and the other one had like lights or something on the grips. I mean, it was just they just keep pumping out quality product. Yeah. So I hope that you guys took the time to listen to that show. If not, go back and listen to it. Johnny with Custom Controllers, and you can get to hear us talk about how he got started into this business and how the process works of him customizing your ready-to-go controllers out the door for you.
It was generous as well. It's give a discount
absolutely.
to our listeners from that one, so definitely want to look at that.
Yeah. 15% off if you listen to the show and you order a controller. You're going to get a 15% discount. All you have to do is DM him on Twitter, tag the podcast, let him know that you heard about it through the show, and he's going to give you a 15% discount. That is a great deal and very generous of him to do that. Which brings us to more important news.
Yes.
For the last several months, you've heard us talk about once we get to 100 followers on Twitter, we were going to give away some podcast merchandise. We have hit the mark. As of today, we are at 122 followers on Twitter.
Yes, thank you.
We have hit the mark. Thank you so much to everybody that has followed and has liked and has shared and retweeted. And we ask that you guys keep being so generous and keep doing that as we try to get this thing off of the ground the best that we can. Brian, I know, has some details on how you're going to get this merchandise, and I'm going to let him kind of walk you through the process of how we're going to do that, because we have had some followers join in the last in the last day. So we want to make sure that everybody is included and it's fair. So I'm going to let Brian talk about the details of this drawing and let you guys know the process of that.
Okay, so by the time you guys listen to this, it'll be around Monday of next week, which we are, it's the 24th today. So I'm going to take the next couple of days and try to copy all the names and get them ready for the drawing. And if you join within the next few days while I'm working on it, I'll get you added in. Once I'm done, I'm done. Once I've got the last name down, it's down. So if you want to be part of the drawing and get either a hat, a t-shirt, or a hoodie, you need to join as soon as possible, because once I'm done, we're going to do the drawing. We will be recording the roulette system that I'm going to use. I've got to find it. But once we have it, we will record it so you guys can actually see the winner. What we're going to need you to do is, if you are the winner, you need to private message us on Twitter. Give us the item you want, the hat, t-shirt, or the hoodie. And we need to know your sizes and your address as to where to send it. Now, these are made to order, so we don't have anything prepped and ready to go right now. So it will take probably about a week or two before you actually receive the product. But it'll be on its way. So we want to thank everybody for joining up. Again, join as soon as possible. If you're hearing this for the first time, we'll get you in there. After this, we have another drawing that's set a little bit higher, and this is probably something we're going to do on a constant, is try to push the boundaries of how many followers we're going to get before the next drawing. So we have something to shoot for here. So we're looking at 500 people for the next drawing. On this drawing, we are going to be getting a controller from Custom Controllers, and we are going to give that away. But we're not going to do that till 500 followers. So something to look forward to. Get your friends invited in. See if they like the show. Hopefully they'll follow as well, and we'll just keep on growing.
I know that 500 seems like so far away, but we've seen, the numbers grow in the last week. So, we're very, very fortunate for that. I mean, as anybody that's ever done this kind of thing before knows that, this is a work in progress, and these things take a while to get off the ground. And there's so many podcasts out there. I mean, this is not like we're the only people to ever think of something like this. So we appreciate all of the followers and all of the follows and the retweets. And if you guys can tell your friends about the show, maybe there's something that will catch their eye, something that we cover. As I made mention in our interview with Johnny, that I want to be as versatile as I can be, but I want to appeal to you guys, because without any listeners, we're just a couple of dudes up here flapping our gums about nothing. So we will have a custom-built controller from Custom Controllers. We're kicking around some details as far as design right now, but I can imagine it would have the logo on it somewhere, and then I don't know how in depth we're going to go. We may give you the option to include something that whoever wins this thing, if they want to add something of their own on the controller, that might be something that we can work with you and get it out to Johnny
or engrave
and see
it
what
to
we can
you
do
from TB Talks.
Make it more personal. And I'll even go as crazy as to say that if you want Brian and I to sign it for you, we'll do that also. I'm not saying that our John Hancock is worth anything, but to somebody it may be. So if you guys want to tattoo my signature on your butt cheek, I mean, you guys can do that too. I will be more than happy to come sign it.
Yep. Now, with the controller, there is some information you need to be wary of. If you listen to our last one, you know that it takes about 6 to 8 weeks before a controller to be completed with the case that it comes with. And that's what we're planning on, is the full case experience, the full golden carpet experience.
I like how you said that. The full
right?
case experience.
Yeah. Because each custom controller comes with its own custom case. So that's what we're wanting to do. We're wanting to give it the good treatment. At 500 followers, we've got a lot of people watching, and we're not going to go out and get a $30 controller and put a decal on it. So we want you to know it's going to probably take about 6 to 8 weeks, and if we're doing signatures, it's probably going to take a little bit longer than that because it has to make it to either myself or Tyler, and then vice versa. I live in New Mexico, he lives in Missouri, so it may be a little bit more extended, but you get a brand new controller out of it. So
now I think do want to iterate the fact that this will be a standard Xbox or PS4 controller. It is not going to be a Xbox Elite controller. I think that might be something we do down the road if this thing really kicks off. But as you guys heard, I mean, it's, you're getting a quality product, but you're looking at $350, for baseline for an Elite controller. Now, that's going to be the most badass controller you've ever had in your hands, because I'm telling you guys, if you guys haven't checked out the Twitter pictures, you guys need to go and check it out. I mean, this is quality stuff. The paint looks spectacular. All of the add-ons, the bling that they're putting on the controllers. I mean, this is something that you would buy off of a showroom floor. I mean, like at a GameStop. I mean, this is not a homemade deal. But this will be a standard Xbox One or PlayStation 4 controller. I just want to keep that in mind for you listeners. Somebody might think that this is going to be an Elite controller. That's not what this first drawing is. We may get to that point down the road, but as of right now, it's going to be a standard controller. Am I right, Brian?
Yes, and hopefully we'll have a couple sponsors by then too, so we can splurge a little bit and not just the Elite, but something else. But we'll see. That's a good ways down the road for that Elite.
And I'm all up for, I think I can speak for Brian and myself both, we're up for ideas. If there is things that you would like to see us give away, for example, if we get to a certain spot with this show, maybe we can start giving away some consoles, and we'll give away an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4 with a podcast logo on it. I mean, these things are options that we can do, but the show has to grow first. The show has to grow. So, as Brian said, once we just determine the cutoff, those names are going to stop. So any new followers at that point, we definitely encourage you to keep following, because, like I said, once we hit that 500 mark, then all these names are going to be in the pool again for the controller. But Brian has so many names he can enter, and that's a lot of names. And if they don't ever stop, then he has. I mean, this is more work for him to do. And Brian's already the one editing the show from top to bottom. So kudos to you, my friend, for being able to do all that. I'm just the guy that runs my mouth. That is it.
It'll be a lot easier once my college classes are finally caught up and done with. And right now,
how much longer do you got to go on?
I got about 8 weeks left, roughly, and I am
and that's
8 weeks behind in Spanish, so I've got a lot to catch up on.
That's
I just
for,
barely got my books. Yes, criminal and justice.
Criminal justice.
Yep.
Okay. So something I did want to touch base on real quick, because I don't think it had happened yet when we interviewed Johnny. Maybe it had. I just don't. I know we didn't cover it. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the shooting that happened in Florida. I don't want to talk about this to drag anybody down, but there's just a couple things that I wanted to talk about. Brian got off on the criminal justice thing, and it reminded me. As I'm sure everybody knows by now, that Nicholas Cruz killed 17 students, or 17 people. I think there was a couple teachers and one coach that was involved in that, but killed 17 people in Parkland, Florida, something like that. I don't remember the name of the city, but anyways, the school resource officer that was on the scene at the school, that's hired by the school to be, there at the school during operating hours, I didn't even make entry into the building while the shooting was happening. I did read that the shooting went on for a little over 6 minutes, and he stood outside for 4 minutes. He has since resigned from his position, but it begs the question, when you sign up for something like that, when you sign up to be a law enforcement officer or to be a firefighter or to be an EMT, your job is to be the first one. I mean, to put your life on the line to save lives, and especially in the sense of a school resource officer. I was just appalled at the decision that he made to not go in. And I just kind of wanted to talk about it. I kind of want to know your thoughts, I guess. I know nobody wants to die, and I understand that. But, go inside and at least attempt to do something. Because you stood outside for 4 minutes, the shooting went on for 6. Had you got inside in the first 30 seconds to 2 minutes that this was happening, I mean, who knows what the outcome would have changed.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious, I guess I just want to hear your thoughts, because I know now, all of the gun control people are coming out of the woodworks again, which is to be expected. But
that's a big reason why
topic,
we gloss over shootings in our podcast. We did the big one in Vegas. That was shortly after we had started our podcast. And ever since then, there have been shootings, and we kind of bring it up, and we talk about it a little bit, but it's more of a gloss over, because anymore, it's about the tool. It's about the tool being used, and it's frustrating to me, because I'm like everybody else. When you hear something that you don't necessarily agree with, or you hear somebody say something, your immediate response is sometimes, they're just ignorant, they don't understand, and it's on both sides.
Yep.
And I'm notorious for that, because I'll sit there, I'll be sitting here at my computer playing a game, and my wife will be watching something political, and they'll say something, and I'll just go off in my own little corner, because it just upsets me that because I am pro-gun, as most people know. And I've said stuff like I don't think bump stock should be legal, because automatic fire is illegal. So if it makes it automatic fire, it should be illegal. And I had stated that, even AR-15s, I don't see the need really for having it myself. I don't have one. And over the course of a couple months, I've been thinking about it and what the Second Amendment says and what we've learned about it over the past few years, actually. And it's gotten to the point now where I'm like, we've decided to put a value on a human life decided by the tool that takes it. It's all about the gun. It's not about preventative measures. It's not about making sure the gun never makes it to that area. It's not about the person using the gun. It's all about the tool itself. And we've decided that life that was taken by that tool is more important than a life taken by another tool, like a knife or a gun or hands. When we look at something and we're like, hey, that gun needs to be outlawed because it was used improperly, and we, the normal argument that pro-guns normally say is, well, you can kill somebody with a knife or with a car or with your bare hands, and then it goes back, well, a gun can kill a whole lot more. That's not the point. They're still human lives, and that's what I've started to notice is we're starting to put a value on a human life based on the tool that killed them, instead of looking at the reason the tool was used or who used the tool. It's always, it's like putting a Band-Aid on something. It's not really healing it or preventing the injury. It's just, oh, well, he shot all these people, let's make this gun illegal, let's make this gun illegal, let's do this. And it's like, no, maybe we should start trying to help the people.
Yeah, well, which brings up the point that I'm in full support of doing something. I don't know what that something is, but, for the most part, it's been the same old same, and they talk about doing something, but then they don't ever do anything. So I'm all for doing something. Yeah. I mean, and this is left, right, middle, wherever you're at. I'm all for doing something, but I don't know what that something is. I mean, I honestly don't know. But we don't need to just talk about doing something.
It's a very hard line.
Something actually needs to be done. It is.
It's a very hard line, though.
How do you feel?
You can't take away a right to make something better and then make it worse for somebody else. Because even if you're not pro-gun, but you're a big supporter of our rights that a Constitution gives, I've seen those people defend it. They don't even own a gun, but because it's in the Constitution, why are we trying to change that when we should try to do other things? So it's a rough line, because you don't want to take away somebody's rights, but you don't want to constantly see this kind of tragedy over and over and over again. But
so how do you feel about them arming teachers? I don't know if you saw the article or not, but
I've always been for
about
concealed carry teachers or open carry teachers. A gun is a tool. I know it's a tool that was created to take a life, but in a lot of cases it was also used to deter. It's a deterrent. If a student sees guns all the time with a whole bunch of teachers, they know the likeliness of them being able to go in and doing any kind of damage is minimal. They're not going to get very far. It's a deterrent. So the teacher may never have to use the gun.
Okay, so what if the teacher, all of a sudden the teacher's the one that's crazy, and they just snap one day and they use that tool that they have to just start killing a bunch of kids? I'm just making conversation. I'm playing.
Like I said, it's a hard line. It's a hard line because they're human. And that's where the problem lies, not in the tool. Everybody could carry a gun right now, but only a certain amount are actually going to break and use it for something illegal. Like, that's just it. You could give everybody a gun, and most people would put it on a shelf. I have a gun, and it's up on a shelf. I don't carry it around with me. I would love to get my conceal and carry, but I don't have it. And I don't open carry. I just kind of leave it up on the shelf just in case. And that's what most people would do. Some people wouldn't even do that. They probably put it in a storage unit somewhere. But there are the few that would, given the tool, they would use it illegally. And that's the deal. It's a human thing.
It is. I mean, I've said before, it's a people problem. Mm-hmm. It's not a gun problem.
And it's not something you can control or prepare, really.
Well, let's say, for example, that some miracle happened and, there was not a single gun left anywhere. Guns completely just vanished from the face of the earth. People are still going to find a way to cause destruction and terror and to cause harm to other people's lives. Like, that's just, it's a people problem. Yeah. And that's the way that God, that person is the way God made them, and something goes wrong along the way, the course of their life, whether it be parenting or childhood or abuse, all kinds of things. But so what they were talking about doing was appointing certain officials within the school to act as security guards, pretty much. I forget what the title was, but they were going to call them something. But I mean, essentially, they were a security guard that worked in the school, and they were the only ones that were going to be able to have these weapons, and they were going to have to go through training, with the national defense. And
I find that better than the teachers. Like, I've never been against teachers having guns, but having somebody who's specifically trained for it, because teachers take a lot of crap from students. We've seen it on YouTube. We've seen it on news, where a teacher or a student will get right in a teacher's face and start wailing on him, and a teacher will finally have enough and throw a student against the wall or bang him against the desk. So yeah, I can understand the worry of having a teacher with a gun in that position. But having somebody who's specifically trained and on premises only to deal with any kind of threat, it's another preventative measure, but the human element still remains. So, I like that idea, and I find that safer than every teacher having a gun, but, there's still that human element.
Well, I didn't mean to get off on that. I just, I realized that we hadn't talked about it. We hadn't covered it. I know we covered the Las Vegas shooting quite in depth, and we started talking about your criminal justice, and that got me thinking. So,
oh yeah, this is what I planned on talking about when I talked to you before too earlier. This is exactly what I was going to talk about. What happened.
Folks, nothing on this show is scripted at all, as you can't probably tell. This is 100% off the cuff. So we hadn't even planned on talking about this for this episode, but that happens. This is going to be a short episode. We primarily just wanted to inform you guys that we finally hit the mark for Twitter, and we're going to do this giveaway. So I don't have anything else. I know it's late here, and I'm pretty tired. So, but we wanted to just go over the rules for this and make sure there was no confusion, and hopefully you guys get to a point where you guys will start commenting on our Twitter and Facebook, and we want to be able to interact with you guys. So, because that's really helps the success of the show if we know what you guys are liking, what you're not liking, so we can kind of change it and alter it to suit you guys, the listeners. So, because I know I don't get any enjoyment out of listening to myself talk. So I hope that you do. But man, I don't have anything else. I said I'm thinking that I'm gonna call it a night tonight. So.
All right. Well, on a lighter note, for a quick Brian's moment, if you guys are interested in a new game with some interesting concepts on it, check out Monster Hunter. And here soon we're going to have Attack on Titan 2 released March 18th. So if you're interested in that, take a look at it. They've got some introduction videos for Attack on Titan on YouTube, as well as Monster Hunter. A friend of mine has been streaming it on Twitch, although I don't know his Twitch name, unfortunately. But you can definitely find some people playing that. It is a pretty fun game. But lighter note, hope you all enjoy.
Yeah, I saw you were playing some Monster Hunter last night. I believe you had the clan in there playing. So that is one game I don't own yet. So, but maybe in the near future that does look interesting.
Yep. All right. Well, you have a good night, and everybody out there, thanks for listening, thanks for following, and keep it up. And we will see you all next time on TB Talks BS Walks.
Later.